Tom here from FlipAnything USA. So if you're just tuning into my video blog here, what this is about is I'm trying to share my lifestyle with people, young and old. I've had a fantastic lifestyle as an investor, as a real estate investor, and it's opened up so many other opportunities for me. Now, listen, I didn't start out with a lot of money. I was raised by my father in a trailer park and had a blast, had a great time, no complaints, but we didn't come from money. What I've encountered in my lifetime is so many naysayers and people that say, oh, they can't, this can't happen and that will, people won't do that, or you can't get that good a deal, and you can't make money at that. You need money to make money, and there's some truth to some of that, but let me tell you, it's not true. You can start from zero and you can make a lot of money. And so I'm going to talk to you today just to share with you about maybe one of the better deals that I've made, or a good deal that I've made. It'll give you some perspective, especially on people that say, you shouldn't. I'm going to call this never say never. Okay, never say never, because you don't know until you ask if something can be done. Or you don't know, people anticipate, oh, they'd never take that kind of offer, or, they'll never do that. And you know what? You don't know until you ask. When people want to sell something, they want to sell. And not everybody's motivated by maxing out the profit on what they sell. Most things I sell under market too, because I just want to be done. I want to be done with it. So I'm actually in one of my warehouses right now, and actually this is a warehouse that's actually pertinent to me because in my since I've been an investor, I've invested in other companies, and one of the companies I have is manufacturing and make movie-making equipment, and it's been a very successful company for about 20 years now. And it was actually my money made in real estate that actually allowed me these other opportunities that I've gotten into, whether it be little high-tech ventures, or in this case, this is kind of high-tech. I make a lot of sophisticated items here, but my blog is really about real estate, because that's what's opened up all the doors for me, and that's what can open up a lot of doors for you to do. Just nothing better than having freedom. With money comes freedom, and that's what I'm talking about. It's having the ability to kind of do what you want, and everybody should have a job where they like what they do. That's important. And I like inventing, and I like manufacturing, and I do like that. So this is fun for me. But anyways, so we're going to go into my office here, and we'll talk some more about real estate, because that is the way that's where the most opportunity is, and where you're able to leverage and make money. You're able to leverage such a huge value item with very little money out of your pocket, and that's what makes the difference, and that's what really makes it easy. So my office, you can see, it's quite cluttered. You see plans and boxes, and these are properties from probably going back almost 30 years. And I don't have the most organized office, but I have people that work for me that are very organized. So mine's a little bit messy here. Let's get a little light going here. All right, so let's talk about real estate. Let's talk about staying motivated, and you need to know what's possible. And you know what? There's far better deals than probably I can ever imagine that are out there for you somehow, because I've certainly exceeded my expectations by many times. And so I know, and that's kind of what I like. I wake up every day and I know that, this may be the biggest deal I've ever made. I never know, but I'm always looking, and that's what you got to do. You got to always look. And, I can tell you one of the things that I did, because when you start deal making, you kind of get hooked. You always want to make a deal and make money on something. And so little deals, to me, are kind of like a little fix. If you look at real estate, making money as a drug, sometimes little deals, even though they're not enough to maybe, maybe not make hundreds of thousands, but even you make 1,000 or even several hundred on maybe buying and selling just some, get a good deal on it could be a table saw or some item of value that you resell and you make a little money. You feel like it's a little bit like, oh, good, at least I still got it. I know what I'm doing. I can still make a deal. And those kind of little deals kind of serve as kind of a little bit of a fix, and in as much as it gives you some stimulus that makes you feel good until you land that bigger deal that you're looking for. Just kind of like your job is that. Your job brings in your income that gets you by, and then you can always prospect, like a prospector, He's getting by, but he prospects on the weekend, and maybe he hits it big. And in fact, I'm actually a prospector too. I like looking for gold. Haven't done it in a while, But a friend of mine's son actually came back with a $35,000 gold nugget, and he dug in an area where the original miner 49ers were in Georgetown and Placerville, California. But anyways, don't want to get off track here. Let's talk about mining for real estate deals. Okay, so I say never say never, and that is so important because there's too many people that just don't try because they assume the answer is going to be no. Don't fall into that group. That's what you're surrounded by, and that's why you have an advantage. If you just never say never, let all the the Debbie Downers and the people that don't want to try, let them just, whatever, let them, live in that world if they want. It's not your job to bring them up, just like it's not my job to bring it up, but I want to share with you because it's been so fantastic for me, and I want my kids to know this particularly, and this blog is primarily dedicated to my twin boys, and my girls too, but mostly it's for my boys right now. My girls are in college, my boys are up and coming, they're still young, they're 14, or no, not even 14, 13, about to turn 14. So I'm trying to talk to you because I'm talking to my kids here. And that's what this blog's all about. In fact, I want your input. If you want me to talk about anything in particular, you let me know. I've made deals on just about every kind of property you can imagine, in every way you can imagine. And I'm going to share one with you right now. So never say never, that's our topic today. Okay, so there's a property that I found. I was going through a map and I was looking at large pieces of property. This is in California. And I sent out letters and I called people. And finally I got a hold of some old guy and he says, man, I do want to sell it. And he goes, come see me. And so I drove to Los Angeles, came out and saw him, and I said, well, what do you think this property is worth? It was 70 acres. And he goes, I go, well, what do you think it's worth? And he goes, I think it's worth millions. And of course my eyes are big, and I'm thinking, well, I can't buy it. I didn't have millions at the time. And so he says, and I go, well, what do you want for it? He goes, I want $140,000. And I'm like, is he conning me? He thinks it's worth millions, but he's willing to sell it to me for $140,000? Well, it wasn't worth millions, but it was worth more than 140. And I said, look, 140,000. I said, I'm ready to buy it right now. He goes, you should. See, he didn't care. He already had money. He was already established. He was just tying things up, and he wanted to get this out of his way. And so we immediately made a deal, and I think I agreed to pay him, I wrote it down here, $30,000 down, and I bought it. Actually, I must have paid $35,000. Yeah, I show $140,000. So it was $30,000 down, and he carried the balance. I'm going to say 110. It had been 110. So he carried a balance of 110. Yeah, it was 110. So I give him $30,000. I'm buying it now, making payments to him, probably $1,000 a month, as I remember, on $110,000. So first thing I do is put this back on the market. I put it up for $560,000, I think, and I put it out on the market for all the realtors to see. I had it listed with an agent, so I listed it, and instead of listing, normally land would be listed for like 10%, and I actually put a listing on it for 15% because I wanted it to get the attention of all the agents because I just wanted to flip this thing, and so. I put that 15%, or maybe it was 12%, but anyhow, I put a very generous listing a payment on it, my agreement to pay on the listing for the sales commission. So what happened was immediately I had somebody interested in it, and it was some little outfit that was kind of near the land in this area that's outside of Los Angeles. And so we ended up making a deal, and they didn't even look at the generous commission that I offered, and they sent me a contract, and they only put, I think, a 6% commission on it. So I was like, okay, I didn't mention it, so they didn't catch it. They were happy with 6%. So I went ahead and did it. We made our deal, and I sold that property that I paid $140 for, and I put 30 down. So there was a first on it of $110,000. They assumed my first, and then they put down about $120,000, I think. Yeah, they put down $120,000, so I had to give up $30,000, 6% of the $520, maybe $32,000. So that left me $90 in my hands now. So I got my $30 back plus another $60,000 in my pocket. And then they assumed the first of $110,000 that I'd already had in place, and now they were making a payment to me on the second. We created a second mortgage, which I carried, and I think I carried it at 10%, and I carried, so I was getting paid $24.50, $30,000 a month, a year, $30,000 a year, from that point forward. Now, the things that could have discouraged me from that was just the simple fact that it was a lot of work to hunt down and find these people that own property. Second was coming out to talk to somebody, and then again, people would say, don't waste your time, don't waste your time. And then all of a sudden, I got a guy saying, he'll sell it to me. He thinks it's going to be worth millions, and he's saying, he'll sell it to me right now for $140. So who would think that would happen, Now, it wasn't worth millions. In fact, I started thinking, is this guy conning me? I don't know. But anyways, he genuinely believed it would be worth more, and I believe it too. And it's been a long time since this deal transpired. But anyhow, we made our deal, and within 3 weeks, I flipped it, and I made about $400,000 or $380,000. That's commission about $350,000. Now I made some of it on paper, but now all of a sudden I had $24.50 a month coming in for years until they finally paid me off on that note. In fact, when they got ready, this is another thing. Again, so the people that say never, okay, the people that say never, they'll never sell it that cheap. Not true. They'll never finance it. Not true. They'll never take such a low interest rate because I offered a low interest rate on it. Not true. And now, here's the one, discount the note. So when they sold, when the property turned hands again, I got paid off on my note, but also on the first, I said, well, let me negotiate that first. So on the first, they said that they'd be willing to discount that if I paid them off early. So I went to them and I said, hey, what would you discount that note for if I wanted to pay you off? They said, we'll take $40,000 off. So now I got another $40,000 off this 110. They just said, just give us 70, take 40 off. I said, okay, it's a deal. Paid off the first, made another $40,000 that would have never probably been made. So they'll never discount the note. Again, they were wrong, they did. The bottom line is you don't know what anybody will do unless you ask. I run into more circumstances where, believe me, money isn't everything. It's not the motivation for everybody. I've sold property far below market too. Just like, you know what? I just want to be done with this. I just want to get it done. I want to get it closed. I want to get it out of here. Okay? And that's kind of the more money you have, the more options you have to say, screw it. I don't care. Just get rid of it. And that's what you can do, and other people do that too. And so, I bought so many different devices and items and machines and houses and cars and, everything. People have different motivations that you cannot fortune tell. You can't fortune tell what people are going to do. You have to ask to know. So just know, never say never. Don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. There are so many people that are negative. They protect themselves by saying, you can't do it. That can't be done. Oh, they'll never do it. They don't try. They don't try. They don't know. So surround yourself with good people that know what can be done, and read books and things that motivate you, that keep you going in that direction. And and I'm going to tell more stories because I have so many to tell. But anyway, so I'm going to leave that for this episode. Is never say never, and look, get into this lifestyle of making deals. Start with little things. If it's hundreds of dollars where you make hundreds, if you can make hundreds of dollars every week on top of what you're already doing, then pretty soon that hundreds, you'll start buying things that you make thousands on. And I'm talking about not just real estate, anything. And then pretty soon you graduate to the real estate, and then that's where the really big bucks are. So that's it for now. And remember, flip anything in the USA. You can flip anything. Just go forward, move ahead, do it, and you'll be so happy. It doesn't take long. Several $100,000 can, even tens of thousands of dollars can really change your lifestyle. Hundreds of thousands can actually release you from your job, and and then you'll be rolling. So that's it for now. And please send comments, write comments. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want about it. If I'm overlooking a detail that's important to you, I want to know that. I want to put it down. I want to address it. So that's it. FlipAnything USA. Thanks. Please subscribe. Tell your family.